I must go down to the sea again, to the lonely sea and the sky, and all I ask is a tall ship and a star to steer her by. This project started from the desire to obtain a vessel to take my family safely and comfortably around the world. Growing up on an island, our 4 children, Mark, Paul, Helen and Emma, grew up with the sea very much a part of their lives. They would play on the creek for hours, rowing, canoeing, swimming, sailing or windsurfing. At 11 I made the mistake of reading Joshua Slocum's Sailing Alone Around the World. From then on I made it my life's work to learn the trade of a seaman and to build the knowledge and experience necessary to make such a circumnavigation. I passed my second mate's certificate in 1964. This meant I was then able to navigate the world as a watchkeeping officer, armed only with a sextant, an almanac, a clock and a book of 5-figure logarithms. There comes a time when dreams either have to be acted on or abandoned. Inside every old person is a young one wondering what happened. 33 years after reading Joshua Slocum, I decided that if I didn't get my act together to sail around the world, I never would. Like Slocum 100 years before, I was now a sailor without a ship. I needed a vessel. I started looking at second-hand boats and even flew out to Spain to see an affordable 26-metre steel ketch. I didn't want to just build a boat, let alone design one. The only criterion to keep a boat afloat is to keep the water on the outside, and this included times when it might be rolled by a freak wave, which are in the ocean, or hit a semi-submerged container, or a whale, which people do, and more are telling the tale because they've got life rafts to go into. The only way to get what I wanted was to design a vessel based on my own ideas. I set off to the back garden of my house armed with garden canes and some tape and started to lay out a deck plan. I started at 15 metres and soon found I needed more space. Changes cost nothing in my garden shipyard, save extra tape and the effort of repositioning the canes. With a given sea state, a larger vessel will roll, pitch and heave less, while the motions will have longer periods. I decided to choose a maximum length of 19.9 metres in the hope of avoiding any legislation based on the round figure of 20 metres. Visits to other vessels, previous experience and the reading of hundreds of articles in yachting magazines give me many ideas. Although it is expensive, I decide that a model is a worthwhile insurance policy. A woodworker takes the lines plan, divides all the full size dimensions by 50 and produces a scale copy in the form of a wooden plug. The hull is towed at different speeds, while I make a visual inspection of the bow and stern waves and how the wake leaves the hull. I take videos from all angles to study later in slow motion. Everything looks clean. I've always been drawn to working boats rather than posh yachts with sweeping lines, so I wanted a boat that looked tough and was tough, rather than something that would be damaged by any incident. Something that you could put a big anchor on without it looking out of place. Can I design and build the right tool for the job? Finances dictated that I would have to build my own vessel, and I decided that steel was the material of choice. It is economic. It stands up well to the constant misuse that is the fate of a cruising vessel, and is easily repairable at any port in the world. The naval architect sells me on the idea of generating the exact shape of all the parts on a computer, then having a computer-driven plasma cutter produce a kit of steel parts. This will add considerably to the design cost, but will mean a more economic and higher build quality. The man hours required to build the hull of a vessel can be more than halved, because everything is pre-cut and slots together. There's a long list of equipment I'll need for the construction. A road trailer is invaluable for transporting the steel girders, for the cradle and for the constant resupply of gas bottles throughout the build. It's also used to carry the scaffold, which I happen to have a quantity of, in my might come in useful one day steel pile. I also have acro props, staging sheets of plywood, wooden props, a heavy duty sack truck and a pair of wheels and axle. My chain hoist, cam lock and lifting chains already come with lifting certificates, and my shackles are all marked with a safe working load. Luckily I also have a great supply of tools found over many years at car boot sales. I'm ready to receive the steel. Occasionally the children will pop in to see the progress Paul and I are making, but I'm not sure if they quite believe that we'll soon be sailing around the world. 3 times a day for 4 months we've taken our tea and lunch breaks sitting at a plastic table on the side of the shed. I long for the day when I won't be able to see the other side because of a solid vessel in the way. It is one of the hottest summers on record and very hard work. I dream that one morning I will come into the shed and, like the Tailor of Gloucester, find the vessel completed except for one small length of weld, with a notice written in mouse-like writing hanging from the bow saying, "No more mig wire,